Welcome to the podcast From Coffee to Cases, the show for small law firm attorneys who want to stop begging for leads and start building a business that runs on referrals and real relationships.
Hello, and welcome back to the podcast From Coffee to Cases with Delisi Friday. Delisi is the founder of First Call Friday, where she helps lawyers build meaningful relationships that turn into referrals and long-term business growth. I'm Leanne Lyon, and today we are talking about the 5 attorneys every lawyer should have in their Rolodex. These aren't optional connections, they're essential. And today, you'll learn who they are and why they are critical. Welcome, Delisi.
Hi.
Hi. So, you believe every lawyer should have 5 specific attorneys in their Rolodex at all times. Who are they and why?
Yes. So the 5 attorneys I recommend every attorney know are personal injury, criminal defense, family law, estate planning, and employment law. And the reason I say these 5 are so critical is because they are most likely to be the kinds of attorneys someone at some point in their life is going to need to contact. And some of those that I just listed are critical and very impactful in someone's life when they need an attorney like that. They need them right away and it's urgent. And so if you're starting to create a network of attorneys, those are the 5 I recommend everyone know because they're most likely to be the kind of attorney someone at some time is going to need to call.
That makes sense. Well, let's start with criminal defense. If I'm a civil lawyer listening to this podcast, why should I know a criminal defense lawyer?
Yes. Criminal defense is one of the first lawyers that I recommend everyone know. And here's why. If you think about all the different kinds of attorneys that someone's going to need to call at some point in their life, the criminal defense lawyer is someone that a person needs, and it's immediate, it's an emergency, it's a very important situation, and they need help right away. But the reason why I think everyone should know the criminal defense lawyer is they're one of the most referred lawyers in our industry because it's a confidential referral. If you think about it, no one's going to go on social media and say, hey guys, had a little too much to drink last night, got a DWI. Who knows a great criminal defense lawyer? It's not something that they go online and they're talking about. However, they are going to call people that they trust and people that they believe are going to put them in touch with the right lawyer or who may have been in a situation like that and ask for a referral because they need someone that they can trust. And so it's a more personal and a more private referral when it comes to criminal defense. Now, there are some criminal defense clients out there that are going to not use their network to find a lawyer and they may not apply to this example. However, there's going to be a lot of people who ask for a criminal defense lawyer as a personal referral because they're trying to keep it private. And that's where that criminal defense lawyer is going to come in handy. And you want to know who that person is right away because when they're asking for a criminal defense lawyer, they're probably calling from jail or they just got bonded out. And now they've got a hearing within 1 week and they need someone ASAP. So it's a very immediate need.
And a scary need at that. So it's wonderful when you know somebody that you can call that like that. So yes, that's an excellent point. So let's talk about personal injury. If I'm a business law attorney listening to this podcast, why would I want to have a personal injury attorney in my network?
Yes, personal injury is another really important lawyer everyone should know. And if you think about it, personal injury doesn't discriminate. You and I could be in a car driving and doing everything right, but there are other people on the road who aren't paying attention, who are texting and driving. They are being reckless, and it's at no fault of our own. So, with personal injury, Those kinds of cases don't discriminate. It can literally happen to anyone. And so I think everyone should know a personal injury attorney they can refer a loved one to for that reason. The other part is they happen in volume. There are a lot of car crashes that happen all across the country. And that is a very common case type that's going to occur that you want to have that personal injury lawyer in your network. So it's going to be a much larger chance that someone in your network is going to need a personal injury attorney. The other part is depending on what venue you're in and where you're licensed, there are some states in the United States that are going to allow fee splits and referral fees on personal injury cases. So, depending on your venue and what the rules are in your state, that can also be a very profitable referral relationship because you can refer that case and benefit financially from it too.
Well, you also say that family law is non negotiable. Why is that?
Oh, absolutely. There was a fact I looked up the other day. As of 2025, it's estimated 39 to 42% of first marriages end in divorce. And that increases for the second and third marriages. Divorces, child custody, um, those are very emotional cases and can happen to anyone who gets married or is in a situation where they're fighting for custody of a child. Um, when that happens, being able to refer the right person is so important. Your future is on the line, just like in criminal defense, but it's your family. And so those people are calling you and asking for help and asking for a trusted referral because it's very personal. It's highly emotional. And probably know someone in your network who has gone through something like that because we all know someone who's gone through a divorce or had a fight over custody of their kids. And so it's more likely that you have someone in your network who has a personal connection to it. And so being able to say, I know the right family law attorney for you is important because it's another practice area that happens a lot in the country. And that referral can be incredibly meaningful and is someone you should most certainly have in your network.
Well, estate planning seems a little related, and it doesn't seem like it's really urgent like the other examples you gave, and yet it's on your list. Tell us why.
Yes. So estate planning is a long game. If you think about it, not enough people in this country are doing their estate plans before they need them. They don't usually do them until later in life. And it is it's an important practice area. Everyone should be doing their estate planning throughout their life and adjusting as things change. But it's also a kind of lawyer that everyone needs. Everyone needs to call and work with an estate lawyer at some point in their life. You don't want to be in a car crash and you don't have an estate plan. You don't want to pass away and you don't have an estate plan. It can be incredibly messy and very stressful if someone passes away and they don't have an estate plan. My father did estate planning, so when I worked in his office, I would see how horrible it was when someone would pass away and then the estate has to get probated, but there was no estate planning done. And it would take so long for that family to have to figure out what happens to the house, what happens to the car, what happens to all of these debts. And it was not fun to see. So, um, keep in mind the estate planning lawyer is a long term plan. Everyone should have an estate planning lawyer in their network to help refer business to because we should all be working with one. And the one caveat I would add to that is there are some attorneys who do estate planning and probate, and then there are some attorneys who say, look, I just want to do the estate planning. But if someone needs to probate a will or handle the probate after someone passes, that's not me. I handle everything to prepare for that moment, but I don't handle the probate. So I would make sure that I know an estate planning lawyer and a probate lawyer or someone who handles both because it can happen all the time. And here's the other part that I really love about estate planning. What's really beautiful is when someone hires a lawyer to do an estate plan and they work with them and they update their will and they update their trust and all of their documents. And their family sees that. And then their family says, "Hey, mom, hey, dad, who did you use to handle all of your estate planning documents?" And the mom or dad says, "Oh, well, I used Delisi Friday. You should call her too." That ends up being like a lifetime of referrals because the mom and dad refer the kids and the kids refer the grandkids. And so, what I love about estate planning is it's something we should all be doing, but they can interact with the family. They interact with the family before to make the plans, they can interact with the family after when sadly someone passes away and be that constant attorney that they trust in their lifetime. And so, I feel like estate planning and probate attorneys have such a special connection to their clients because they connect with their family in a really personal way and can be that connection for them for a very long time.
And that endears them to the person that introduced them as well, which I love.
Yes, absolutely.
So tell us why you also list employment law. I can see where that makes sense for the law firm owners listening right now, but what about the attorneys who work in a law firm? Why is an employment law attorney a necessary contact for them?
Yes, great question. I think it's really important for everyone to know an employment law attorney because with employment law, you could need an employment law attorney on either side. So there's the employment law attorneys who help the employer, and then there are the employment law attorneys who help the employee. And there have been so many situations where I'll get a random text message from a contact of mine, and they'll say, "Hey, Delisi, my friend is going to start a business. Do you know an employment attorney to help them get whatever documents they need before they start their business?" And I can make a referral that way. But the other part of it is the people we have in our lives who have, let's just say, a wrongful termination. "Hey, Delisi, my cousin just got fired from their job, but I don't think they did anything wrong. They always had great employee reviews, never had a reason to get in trouble. And I think there's something there. I think it's because they got into an argument about their boss with their boss about something crazy, right?" Um, that's a situation where you want to be able to refer that loved one to an employment law attorney because they can step in and they can help them there. And so I think because so many of us have jobs, there's a much higher chance that one of us is going to know someone we work with or a family friend or loved one who also has a job. And there's a situation where they're like, think I need to talk to an employment law lawyer. I think this situation probably shouldn't happen. And so there's a lot of different examples. It doesn't have to be just for the law firm owners. There can be so many situations where we know someone who's an employee who has something happen and they suddenly need that consultation to an employment law attorney.
Well, these five attorneys make a lot of sense to me. But for the attorney listening to the episode and realizing they don't know one or more of these five attorneys and they want to add them to their network, where do they start?
Yes, I think the first place they should start is one, LinkedIn. I talk about LinkedIn so much on this podcast. So the first place they should start is LinkedIn. My suggestion would be going on LinkedIn, using the search bar for that practice area, and then doing a search for second degree connections. And then saying, okay, who are all the attorneys that I know that practice this case type? And are someone in my network who we have mutual connections? Because more often than not, you might actually know someone who does that practice area, but you may have forgotten who they are. So I use LinkedIn as a way to search and remind me who the people are I might already know. And then whoever I find on that list, I can go and look and see who are those mutual connections. Oh, okay. We both have Sam as a mutual connection. Let me ask Sam if Sam can introduce me to this attorney and I can create a relationship with that lawyer. Maybe Sam already uses that lawyer to refer cases to, and that warm introduction can be a great place to start. So, number one, I recommend LinkedIn using the search bar. I also recommend as a second option, go on LinkedIn and do a post. Hey, everyone, I realize that I don't have a good criminal defense lawyer in my network. And if I need to refer a case to a criminal defense lawyer, who do you recommend? And that's a great post because then you're allowing your network to show to you who they refer their cases to. And if you've got a lawyer's name who's popping up in that thread over and over and over again, well, now you just found your criminal defense lawyer. So you can use LinkedIn in those two ways. The second one, your personal network. I love to use this as a reason to reach out to my current referral partners and use them to help me. So let's say I have a family law lawyer who refers me a lot of cases. I can give her a call and say, hey, Samantha, I need to have a criminal defense lawyer in my network and I don't have one. Who do you refer your cases to? And see who Samantha sends her cases to. And when she has that person say, great, Samantha, can you do me a favor? Do you mind introducing me to Bob? And I can have a meeting with Bob thanks to your warm introduction. And I'm sure Samantha's going to say yes. She wants to be a connector and she wants to help you. And the warm connection is going to take you really far. So I would go through your referral partners and ask them who they refer those cases to. If there's someone who's missing on your list and you don't have, um, and then here's a third way you can do it if you don't want to use LinkedIn and you don't want to use your personal network. This one is very, very tactical and intentional, and most people wouldn't think about it, and it's my favorite. I will go on Google and I will do a search for that lawyer in that practice area. And then I will pay attention to who the people are on the first page and the second page, and who are the people who are doing ads for that practice area. Why? Because the people who are doing ads for that practice area and the people who are on page one and page two of that search likely have a marketing team that's helping them, some kind of agency that's making sure that their website is well done, and a team to answer all of those phone calls and make sure that those leads convert. And that's an indicator to me that business owner is doing something to make sure that they are bringing cases in the door and providing a great service. And so that's kind of like my trick is okay, if I don't know someone, I'm going to do a Google search. I'm going to pay attention who's spending money to bring those cases in because they're more likely going to be providing a good service and care about generating business. And I use that as an indication that they're probably going to care about referrals and they're more likely to provide a good service.
These are excellent tips. So, to our audience, as we wrap up, if you don't already have these 5 attorneys saved in your phone, that is your homework. Build the relationships before the call comes in. Your clients and your reputation depend on it. And if you want help building a referral network that actually generates cases, join Pocket Docket with Delisi Friday. This is a community for lawyers who are serious about referrals and serious about growth. Visit firstcallfriday.com and click on the services page to learn more. Thanks for tuning in, and remember to like, review, and subscribe to the show so you catch the next episode. See you next time. Thank you, Delisi.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe to this podcast. And please share this episode with a peer who can also benefit from case referrals. For more information or to connect with me, Delisi Friday, visit firstcallfriday.com.